Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to this one's dedicated to. My name is Jennifer Ziegler.
And I'm Chris Barton. We both write books for young people, and we love talking with other authors of books for young people about the dedications in their books.
And today we are so thrilled to have the terrific and talented Hena Khan, who is here to talk about the dedication in her very timely book, AMINA'S Song. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
Oh, we're so glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Would you please get us started by reading the dedication in AMINA'S Song out loud for us, please?
Sure, yes. It is dedicated to my extended family around the globe whose love knows no boundaries.
Thank you. Why is this book dedicated to the people that it's dedicated to?
So I have a lot of family that is scattered around the globe, as you can tell from that dedication. Many of my family members live in Pakistan, my country of origin, where my parents immigrated from when I was, well, before I was born, and then I was born and raised here in the US. And the book takes place partly in Pakistan. Amina goes to visit her family, who she hasn't seen in many years, and visits them in Pakistan, a place that she hasn't been to in many, many years and doesn't really know how to navigate. And while she's there, she falls in love with it. She really connects with family members that she hasn't seen or known, and who she's only known as people who love her so much just because of who she is. And then she gets to be there and really connect with them on a personal level, which is, next level. And so it made me really think about my family members. And when I was writing the story, and I based a lot of that part of the book on my visit to Pakistan when I was Amina's age, and just the deep connections that I made with my cousins and uncle and others, and just how hard it was to leave them, and that whole feeling that a piece of your heart is left somewhere else. And so I thought about how much a comfort it is to know that there is this network of people who love me, also just because of who I am, that we share blood, but also, many of them because we've been fortunate enough to spend a little bit of time together and really bond.
And are there other countries besides the U.S. and Pakistan where you've got this extended family? And how many, when you think of your extended family, how many folks are we talking about?
A lot of people. I started counting the other day with my kids, like how many first cousins I have, and it's in the 30s. And then of course that's not counting second cousins and third cousins. So it's a big family. My mother had 5 siblings, and my dad had 2 siblings, and they each had kids of their own. So so besides Pakistan and the US, I've got family in Canada, in England, in the Gulf region, Australia. So it's really, we're spread out, and then within the US across the coasts and everywhere in between. So, and it's funny because I didn't grow up with family like Amina. My immediate family was in the Washington, D.C. area, which is where I still live now. And my parents had a couple of cousins of theirs in the area, but other than them, I didn't grow up around grandparents or cousins or, my aunts and uncles. And so for me, it was such a treat to get to connect with family. And now it's nice as an adult to have more and more people closer to me and around the globe, and also around the country, that I could see more often.
At what point did you know you were going to dedicate it to your family? And did you always know you were going to dedicate it to them as a group as opposed to individual members?
Yeah, so I thought about that. I thought about a couple of cousins of mine who really inspired the character Zora in this book, who Amina hangs out with, and some of the things they do, and even some of the things they talk about, were based on conversations I'd had with my cousins. But it was really, and so I did think of one cousin in particular, my cousin whose name is Amina. And so I did think about her. She actually reviewed the book for me too, because some of the content, with regards to how Amina feels about certain things. I mentioned Malala Yousafzai, I mentioned the Taliban. I just wanted to make sure somebody from Pakistan might not feel offended by the way I presented certain things. So she's always been a huge supporter of me and just so loving. So I thought about dedicating it to her alone, but but the character was also a blend of other cousins I adore, and so that's why I thought, okay, I'm not going to play favorites. I'm just gonna have it be, beyond, and then also some of my elders who have, left us and have made a big mark on me too, and Amina's uncle, who she calls John, is based on my uncle, my dad's older brother, and we have also had a very special bond, like Amina does with her uncle. So that's why I wanted to make it broader to include him and others.
During these times, it's harder and harder to connect with extended family. You are separated by distance from extended family, but just also knowing that the option is not there to go see them if you wanted to. Did that in any way shape your dedication?
I think, yeah, in some ways. I mean, I had written this book and written the dedication before we entered into the pandemic. So, but I think I was thinking about time and distance and and of course those who aren't here anymore, and just all the different barriers that we have. But what I have found since, the book, has come out, and even before, and just being in these times, the creative ways that we've found to be connected during the pandemic. So in some ways, people who I, took for granted, we all do sometimes, someone's always there, we don't need to reach out. I found that in some ways we all were checking in on each other a bit more, and I had big cousin WhatsApp groups and everyone's sharing information and updates, and so that's been nice. And even for birthdays, we had a couple big birthdays in the family. We did big Zooms that we wouldn't have done before these times. So in a way, it's helped bring us closer together and make us feel more connected, as much as it's been horrible in other ways. So trying to think of something positive. But yeah, I mean, I felt like it did connect well with, unfortunately, what we're dealing with right now.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
Well, besides perhaps your cousin Amina, were there other members of that extended family who you wanted to make sure were aware of the dedication you wrote for this book?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I'm sure, like you've experienced, you never know how many people are actually reading your books, who are you related to, and so I did want, and especially in the acknowledgments too, I get a little specific about people like, my cousin who read for me, or those who, did other things to help me in research, etc. But yeah, it's sort of like a nugget there for anyone who picks up the book. So I didn't say, hey, everyone, like I left it off the group chat to be like, I dedicated this book to all of you.
So is there anything else you would like to share and be sure that people know about the dedication, the inspiration of Amina's song?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really about your heart feeling complete, and about what you can do to bring the different pieces of yourself together. I think that's what Amina is sort of going through in this book, and feeling like a whole person. And I feel like right now, we do feel isolated sometimes, and far away from the people we love, and we can't always have access to them. And so I think whatever you can do to, in Amina's case, she turns to her music and other ways of expressing herself. But I think the ways that we just talked about, reaching out, telling someone that you're thinking about them, that you care about them, I think it goes a long way. And we all need it, probably more than we realize. So I'm sure anyone who's out there who's missing someone, just give them a call, or say hi, set up a Zoom, whatever you can do. And especially some of the elders out there, I think they would be completely overjoyed to hear from you. I should actually, maybe I should go back and be like, hey, I dedicated this book to all of you. Go out and read it.